want to go up to Canada and spend a few minutes on what's happening up in Canada. It is truly becoming terrifying. Yesterday, in the last 15 minutes of this broadcast, the CBC released a statement from Prime Minister Trudeau, who said he was invoking the Emergency Powers Act. Now, this used to be called the Emergency War Act, but they changed the name of it in the 1980s. And he has said that this is not going to hurt regular Canadians. It's just to go after these, well, I think they defined them as terrorists yesterday. After the crowdfunding, I want you to listen to this. Is Canada's Minister of Finance. Listen.
First, we are broadening the scope of Canada's anti-money laundering and terrorist financing rules so that they cover crowdfunding platforms and the payment service providers they use. These changes cover all forms of transactions, including digital assets, such as cryptocurrencies. The illegal blockades have highlighted the fact that crowdfunding platforms and some of the payment service providers they use are not fully captured under the Proceeds of Crime and Terrorist Financing Act.
This is amazing. Stu, do me a favor. Her name is Christina Freeland. Chrystia. Chrystia Freeland. She's the Prime Minister or the Canada's Minister of Finance. So she's like the head of our Treasury. Google her name along with the words World Economic Forum. Because this is exactly what the World Economic Forum wants to do. This is why they need their own Fed coin. This is why they need insight into your spending, what Canada is doing right now through an emergency act, because this is terrorists. And don't think that the Biden administration isn't part of this. Canada will share all of this information. So anybody who gave money to the truckers are going to be on a list. And by the way, relax. You listen to this program, they know you're listening to this program. If you're a subscriber to the you're already on a list. So don't let the list scare you. You're already there.
Yeah, she is. She's on the. She is on the website of the World Economic Forum. She is a member of the forum's board of trustees.
Board of Trustees. What a surprise. This is the Great Reset in operation, just being brought in under the guise of emergency powers. Now, the problem has been that Trudeau in Ottawa has tried to tow these tow trucks away, and the tow truck companies are saying, we got all our trucks out. We can't make it. Here's Trudeau yesterday, cut 7.
One of the issues that we have seen is a challenge in getting tow trucks to actually show up to bring out, to move these large rigs. In Windsor, we relied on generous partnership with the Americans to be able to get tow trucks to move the big trucks. Now, with these measures that we've put in place, there will be an ability to compel, for just compensation, tow truck owners and operators to actually do the jobs for which they have contracts with various orders of government to keep highways and roads clear.
So they're going to be compelled for just compensation. You're going to be compelled now. Why? Because you have other contracts with the government. Listen to me now. If you have any government contract of anything, cancel it, get out of it. If you are currently taking money from the government, stop taking money from the government. They are luring everyone into their web, and they will compel you now. Otherwise, you'll lose your license. Yet, something else from the Great Reset. Now, I have somebody who is she's not a Canadian, but I think she thinks she's a Canadian. Ricky, who is one of our executive producers, and she lived up in Canada for a long time, worked in the news business, and loves Canada and just hates their press because it's just so bad. It's worse than ours because it's being paid for by the government. So there is an op-ed in the Toronto Star, and the Toronto Star makes, I don't know, the New York Times look like GlennBeck.com. So in the Toronto Star, very, very leftist, she was very excited because she said the op-ed wasn't all for the mandates. But I want you to listen to what they wrote. Many will cheer the Trudeau government's decision to invoke the Emergencies Act to deal with border blockades and the occupation of Ottawa. They're fed up with the protests, and that's entirely understandable. Let me take us a couple of places. First of all, you'll notice that the United States government said you've got to, because Trudeau did not make this decision until he heard from Biden, and Biden said you got to do everything you can. You stop this protest and get them off. Stop blocking the bridge. You'll notice that they're talking now about the occupation of Ottawa. That's not where the bridge is. This is about taking this Emergency Powers Act not to help the economy. That's what Trudeau says. But this is to unblock the streets of Ottawa. Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't make sense. But they say, we're not going to join the cheering. And you read that and you're like, whoa, the Toronto Star. Listen to this. Federal emergency powers may now be necessary as a last resort. But going that route is a shocking admission of failure by the government at all levels. This was and remains a policing issue right from the start, even before the truckers' convoy rolled into Ottawa. There were laws on the books adequate to deal with this. The situation could and should already have been resolved by good intelligence, smart planning, and effective coordination among police forces. But in Ottawa in particular, we've seen none of that over the last 2.5 weeks. Instead, we've seen dithering and buck passing all around. Indeed, until a couple of days ago, the federal government's position was that local authorities had all the tools and resources they need to deal with the, quote, occupation. Did you ever read anything about this from any major newspaper in America with Occupy Wall Street? Did you read anything like this from any major newspaper, New York Times, LA Times, Chicago, any of those major newspapers saying these kinds of things when it wasn't just protests? They were looting, robbing, killing, and burning cities for BLM. Did you hear any of this? So they are saying now all of a sudden the federal government is taking extraordinary measures of invoking the Emergency Act for the first time that the law was passed in 1988. Even if those powers will be, as the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said on Monday, limited time, geographically targeted, and don't involve actually bringing in the military, what's changed? Listening to the Prime Minister, it wasn't entirely clear. He said the occupation and border blockades are illegal and economically damaging. That's true, but it was true last week and the week before. I'll go even farther than the Toronto Star here. It was also economically damaging 2 years ago to shut everything down, to make sure everybody stayed in their house, to close down gatherings, to close down churches, to close down everybody except for the big boys. What is it that Home Depot could do that our True Value hardware store couldn't do? Why is it that our local people seem to care less about the deaths of their neighbors, but some giant faceless corporation, they could be in your community and they were fine with it because they what? They what? It doesn't make any sense. All of the things that they are doing now in Canada because they say it hurts the economy. Yeah, it's a little rich coming from you guys now. Now, the Toronto Sun, which is just a regular liberal paper, says what happens. I'm sorry, this is the Star again. What happens if Trudeau's Emergency Act? What happens if it doesn't work? Well, it might not work. Word is today from conservative sources that the tow truck companies are still not going along. You'll notice Trudeau said, and we're working with American companies. So are American tow truck companies? If you're on the border and you're a tow truck company and you're going to start pulling those trucks off, shame on you. Canadian tow truck companies aren't willing to do it. Now, we'll see how brutal it becomes. People have been ticketed. What happens when the police show up and they're not willing to get out of their trucks? Are you going to drag families out of those trucks? You want to be seen doing that? The police are on the wrong side. This is Bull Connor kind of stuff up in Canada. This is going to be a political and media nightmare. It won't be in the mainstream press, but here's the bad news for you guys. Nobody pays attention to you anymore. Nobody believes you. There is a split in the entire world. It's not an American thing. And honestly, it's not a anti-government thing. It's not a rebel thing. It's not a revolutionary thing. It is just a human thing. When you've been lied to over and over and over and over again, and the lies are clear, and you're dealing with somebody who never apologizes, never corrects it, and continues to lie and double down on the lies, you no longer believe them. So there are those people who just are, for some reason, they're just holding their eyes shut. No, I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. Those people who are just getting their news from the mainstream media, those people will buy all of this crap. Anybody who has read anything from any alternative news source knows what's going on. So what happens when it doesn't work, Justin Trudeau? Will it make things even worse? I think it will. I think people will dig their heels in, and you'll have more Americans and you will have more Canadians that if they see you dragging families out of a truck, if they see you in your riot gear with these people who have done nothing but sit in their truck, there is no violence. This is not BLM. Remember, we remember how you covered BLM. We see this. It's not going to end well. More people will dig their heels in and say, you know what? I may not be fully on board with these people, but I am against that kind of hypocrisy and fascism.